Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-January 2023 love reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past, present, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards as well for some additional insight, and that's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Two of Staves. So this is actually Aries energy here. And what I'm getting from this primarily could just be saying that you might have felt pulled away, possibly to travel somewhere, could have even been for work. But yeah, it looks like in the past, given the body language, right, we do see his back turned to the cards on the side. He might have just been called away to do something else, and that might have caused a bit of a split in the connection. Alright. Past energy on their side, we have the King of Pentacles. So this could have been someone who had a lot of focus on their career as well, and if we see the body language there, is somewhat turned away from the cards on this side too. So yeah, to me, what I get from this is you guys probably did cross paths with each other in the past, but it seems like you had other goals in mind that might have prevented you from putting a lot of energy toward the connection. Alright, in the present position on your side, we have Triumph. So this is actually the equivalent of the World card in traditional tarot. And if we look at the artwork here, it could just be saying that you might have successfully completed whatever this was that pulled you away in the past, and now due to that you're able to reunite with this person. Could have been travel related for sure, and I'm starting to feel like there might just be a physical distance between the two of you in general as well. So maybe one or both of you travels a lot for work, something along those lines, or you might have crossed paths while traveling, but that's what's starting to come through for me here. Alright, present energy on their side, we have a few cards that came up. We have the Star card. Given the compass there, that could be another indicator of travel, right? We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Lovers. So yeah, another indicator. To me, the artwork here just kind of reminds me of the Triumph energy as well. But looking at these cards, with the Star card, again, like I said, this could be an indicator that maybe you guys were physically apart for a while, right? Possibly because you were pursuing separate goals at the time. With the Ten of Pentacles, to me, this shows that there's a desire to actually build something stable together now. With the Four of Cups, if we look at the artwork here, to me, this represents, they could just express how when you spent time apart from each other, it might have felt, incomplete for them. And then with the Lovers, obviously, that seems a bit more self-explanatory. But yeah, definitely looks like a pretty solid reuniting between the two of you in the present. Alright, future energy on your side, we have the Ten of Arrows. So Gemini energy here. And what I'm getting with this, especially with this deck in particular, doesn't necessarily point to endings the way we tend to think of more so with the traditional tarot. But if you look at the way the arrows are laid out, we see 9 arrows all together, and then the 1 arrow pointing toward the cards on the side. So I feel like this is saying in the future you might express any concerns or anxiety you might have around the connection, right? So especially if there is, like I said, the main theme here, it seems like there's probably physical distance between the two of you. Whether you never lived in the same cities at all, or one of you moved away, or like I said, maybe one of you travels a lot for work. It seems like that's a theme there where there's a physical distance between the two of you. So I feel like this could be you expressing your concerns around that, right? Like saying, hey, the connection's great between us whenever we're physically together. It's amazing, but what are we going to do about the fact we're not physically together very often, right? So I feel like that's primarily what the discussion would be centered around and your concerns around that. But that's what I see there. Especially given that Gemini energy for you guys is 9th house, that could point to travel, and we've had Mars retrograde there for a long time. That's finally wrapping up, but yeah, that's what I see with that. And future energy on their side, we have the Knight of Swords. So this could represent that if this is, especially if it is around some kind of a physical distance thing, right, and you express your concerns around that, this could be them actually giving some practical responses to that, right? Like possibly even considering, hey, well, what if I move to the same city you're in, or what if we plan to, be in the same city more often, things along those lines, right? So I feel like this is them taking a more action-oriented approach to try to bridge the gap between the two of you. All right, the bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Nine of Cups. So Pisces energy here, and what always stands out to me with the artwork here is if we look at the way those cups are laid out, it makes me think more of the Ten of Cups, where we tend to see in most decks there's a rainbow across the sky with the cups, right? And what stands out to me here is we see it looks like she's kind of building that on her own, right? We see the one cup in the bottom there. So it could just be saying that this was the journey you were on, right? So maybe you had to do something for yourself at the time, and that could have been what was calling you away from the connection. And it could just be saying that now that you've achieved whatever that goal was, you're more open now to approaching that Ten of Cups with someone else. All right, and the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Six of Wands. So the Six of Wands energy typically points to a victory. And what stands out to me with this artwork in particular, though, is we see the two people in the boat, right? And then we see a bunch of birds that are free, and then this one in the cage. So to me, this says that, especially if we think of the birds as representing communication, this could just be one of those things where it could just be saying maybe someone's a bit bottled up when it comes to expressing their feelings. But I feel like this is saying on a more practical level, though, they show other ways that they care. You know what I mean? So they might not be the type to tell you they love you every 5 minutes, but they might constantly plan to do things together with you, right? Or pay close attention to what you like and dislike, and then they might bring you things along those lines there, however weird it sounds, but that's kind of what I'm getting with that. So you might pick up on that's the way that this person operates, or that might be how they feel about you. All right, so moving on to your oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get from Aqua Moonlight deck here. And I'm going to be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. Initially looking for jumpers, but if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull cards that way. So let's see what comes up. Got one there. And next we'll see what we get from them to you. Got one. Okay, so on your side we have secrets. It says, I hid something from you and I'm afraid to tell you about it. So interesting message there, because that could point to the Ten of Arrows energy that we see in the future, right? Which could definitely, like I said, with the 9 arrows together and the one pointing toward the cards on that side, could represent anxiety around something and finally coming forward to express what that anxiety is about. If that's the case, it doesn't like it necessarily would be anything scandalous. So, maybe it's one of those things where when you're physically with the person, maybe you don't tell them that you have all these concerns, right? Maybe you take the approach of, oh, I'm just going to enjoy the time that we have together and think about the rest of the stuff later, right? So it could just be as simple as down the line, when you guys are apart again, you tell them, hey, I'm really concerned about the fact that we don't see each other often, this, that, and the other, right? Could be something like that. I suppose for some of you could be something more scandalous, but I don't necessarily see that from the spread anyway. And on their side, we have Gentle. It says, I'm staying away from you because the last thing I want to do is hurt you. So, interesting message there. To be fair, like I said, it looks like in the past you guys were both pulled away for different goals. But if you feel like you hadn't really been hearing from this person, that could have been the reason why, right? Maybe they felt that, oh, they might have sensed that you were being pulled away for something, even if you didn't express what it was about. So they might have just seen it as, oh, I'm going to give them their distance. I'm not going to pressure them, right? So at the very least, it looks like the two of you could benefit from some more open communication. But hopefully that resonated with you. All right. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording, and here I'm just going to be looking for one card for general advice to wrap the reading up with. We'll see what we get. Alright, so nothing's coming up, so what I'm going to do is put the deck down, and just give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll pull a card. Alright, I'll take this card here, move this out of the way, and let's see what you got. Okay, we have By the Book. There's the artwork, and the number is 11. So let's see what it has to say. Okay, the relationship message says getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Finding a middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. So, interesting message there, right? It could just be saying, so the main thing that I was getting here with this card was that, like I said, it looks like there could be some concern on your part around, hey, we have this physical distance between the two of us. So, yes, the connection's great while we're together, but, I feel like we don't see each other often, right? So, could just be saying that there might need to be a little compromise there if that's the case, right? Where it's going to say, well, you have to understand if that's their reality, if they're constantly traveling for work or something like that, right? Then you're going to have to be a little open to compromise there. But like I said, it does look like the two of you will be able to make an effort, and it should go well. But hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.